Dalia. I've wanted to talk about this name ever since the character was released in Genshin. It's a very common feminine name here in Egypt, and in this video I'm going to share everything that I know and was able to learn from the internet about it. I found two main versions of the name, one in Europe and one here in the Middle East, especially in the Semitic languages like Hebrew, Arabic, and the fragmented version of the ancient Egyptian language that we speak here in Egypt, but there's a lot of confusion because we're using the Arabic alphabet and some imported Arabic words. That's a long story. But anyway, I will start with pronunciation of the one we have in the Middle East, and especially with the part that I'm sure of, the way we pronounce it here in Egypt. Dalia. Some accents, just here in Egypt alone, morph it and change it so it sounds in some places like Dalia or Dalia. It mainly affects the vowels of the name, like the consonants D, L, Y, or Y at the end mostly don't change. Now, the pronunciation of it in Arabic, I'm not 100% sure of it, but I think it's Dalia. And there's also many Arabic accents that will affect the way it's pronounced there. And the European pronunciation, you already know it, it's Dalia. Or at least, again, that's what I know. Now, when it comes to the meanings and the origins of both, they are quite fragmented. And there's a lot of theories and speculations with both, the European one and the Middle Eastern one. This is important because many names, the meanings and origins of which are certain and set in stone and we know them. Like, for example, my own name, Magdi, means my glory. That is what it means because we are sure of the structure of it. It's two parts, Magd and Ayah at the end. The word Magd means glory. The Ya at the end is for position, like it's mine. This, whatever this is, it's mine. So Magdi means my glory. But with Dalia and Dalia, what we are sure of is that they are feminine names. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the meaning first. We are not sure what they mean. Both, but there are a couple consistencies. A couple as in the European one has a consistency with it, and the Middle Eastern version also has a consistency. The one in Europe, as I was trying to trace its origin and meaning, took me all the way back to ancient Norse language. But that's only a theory, and there's also a project online trying to reconstruct the Proto-Germanic languages, and there's a lot of people around the world who are trying to reconstruct ancient languages. Even I hope to be able to revive the ancient tongue of my ancestors. But anyway, which is not the Proto-Germanic, it's the ancient Egyptian, but I digress. Now, step by step, starting with the one in Europe, the very first step of its evolutionary path is that it's the name of the national Mexican flower, the Dalia. And that flower was named in honor or after the Swedish botanist Anders Dahl. Now his surname, Dahl, doesn't mean a flower. According to the internet, it means valley, and it's of Germanic origin. And that surname has many variations. There's one that we know, D-A-H-L. There's another without the H. There's another with the H and an E after the L. And there is one, in the theory of the ancient Norse word, it's spelled D-A-L-R. But of course, I'm not even sure which ones are facts and which ones are speculations and theories. I got completely lost because it's very fragmented and complicated. Regardless, the consistency is with the meaning here. Dal means valley. And this is consistent between Wikipedia and Ancestry.com and Google. With the Middle Eastern name, now of course I don't know the Hebrew pronunciation, and I don't know the pronunciations in the other Semitic languages, like the Aramaic one, which I think Arabic and Hebrew came from the Aramaic language, and Aramaic, it's a long story, but there is another consistency with the meanings of this one. They revolve around a hanging branch, especially that of a grape tree. Now, in some variations, it just says it's the bough of a tree, or the whole grape tree, or just a branch. But regardless, it has something to do with trees and the branches. And when it comes to the origin of the Middle Eastern version of the name, the internet is unsure of, because the Semitic languages all came from the Phoenician or the Phoenician language, and the Phoenician language came from the ancient Egyptian language. And even the languages even the Germanic languages and the Norse language could also be traced all the way back to the ancient Egyptian language, through the path of ancient Latin to ancient Greek to Phoenician to ancient Egyptian. So there's a lot of fragments, a lot of lost and broken and burnt knowledge there. But I think I shared everything that I know about it. And again, to recap, there's two versions of the name, one in Europe pronounced Dalia, and one in the Middle East, which we pronounce here in Egypt, Dalia and Dalia. The meanings, the one in Europe, can be traced back to the name Dahl, which means valley in some Germanic languages. And the one in the Middle East is of a Semitic origin, and it could mean a hanging branch, especially that of a grape tree. So yeah, I think that's everything I know about the name, and bye.